This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Thank you for tuning in to the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast, where we talk the latest and greatest news in the world of sports. I'm Alex, and that's Ben, and he is currently preoccupied watching quite the fun stream, I imagine.
Yes, I am. As you know, Alex, I'm a big soccer guy, and I do love my video games as well.
Yeah, so I'm a big football guy, and I love my video games, so in my relation would be Madden, and yours is?
FIFA.
Yeah.
So they are showing a new reveal trailer for FIFA 17, and I have that up on my browser right now. I just saw Ibrahimovic score a bicycle kick, Alex. I know you're obviously liking that, being a Man United fan. So
I am surprised by the athleticism that man has. At not offend, no, like I don't mean this is old in anybody else's terms, but for soccer,
about to be
older.
35 in October.
Yeah, that man is still quite spry.
He's getting up there in age. He did score in their first game of the Premier League. It was a 3-1 win over Bournemouth. He scored the third and final goal for the Red Devils. So definitely off to a good start, Ibrahimovic and Man United.
Oh, yeah. And staying on the soccer front real quick, we have an update on a live score, and that is Olympic women's soccer in Brazil and Sweden. We mentioned before, still 0-0 in the 80th minute of their game. Couple yellow cards back to fourth. Brazil's got 2 of them, and the Sweden just got their first about 4 minutes ago. So it's quite the game going on, quite the match going on there in Rio.
And we are looking at extra time, only 9 minutes away. Play 30 minutes of extra time. If they are still tied after that 30 minutes, they will move on to literally the coin flip that is penalty kicks. So.
Yeah, man, I told you last night I was playing a tough game of FIFA, and he won the first game. I won the second game. It went to a third game. We played internationals. I was Portugal. He was, I forget who he was. Colombia, maybe.
Okay.
And it was tied 2-2 going into extra time. He hates PKs because he's not very good at them in that game. And sure enough, going to PKs. Literally, nobody's stopping at him to kick, goal.
For both of you.
So it got to the point to, the first person to, like, he is the first person to pretty much block, because as soon as you blocked one, there's, like, neither of us were blocking any kicks. And sure enough, he blocked me, and then I couldn't block him. He thought he blocked me one time, and it ricocheted up and down and back into the goal. I thought I blocked him once, but I jumped too far past it and didn't get enough of it to block it. So, yeah, he ended up winning that one. It was a tough loss. It was a tough loss.
It's okay. You'll live to fight another day.
Yeah. I told you the first game we played with MLS teams, and I played with the Red Bulls. I literally had 12 shots, 7 on target, that all somehow missed. They ricocheted off the poles or something. And he ended up winning. Yeah, he ended up winning 2-0. It was the most frustrating game of FIFA I've ever played in my life.
I'm sorry.
Like, there's games sometimes where I'll play them with, like, the German national team, and obviously that's my team I use all the time in that game. It's them, Bayern Munich, or Manchester United, right? And I use them, and I forget who handles the kickoff, and I took it and I just ran straight to the goal and scored within, like, the first 10 seconds, and he was so upset.
I want to play you in FIFA.
I would love that.
We need to set it up.
We need to correlate.
We'll have to set it up.
We'll correlate our planners.
I want to play you in FIFA.
Well, tell everybody
because this is like the game. I'll play other games, but this is like my main game, FIFA, and I can't ever get enough of it. So I want to play you.
Okay, I would love that. I'd love to play you in Madden, because I'm sure you're going to destroy me in FIFA, and then I'll probably give you quite the handling in Madden.
I'm sure you would handle me in Madden. So.
I'd love to handle you in Madden, Ben.
Okay, well, anyways, let's move on to the show. So why don't we tell everyone what we have on tap for today?
All right, well, we are talking the Olympics. We're talking about some big performers, and maybe some performers that may be disappointed, I suppose, in the Rio Games so far, as we're getting close to near the home stretch. To give you an update on the medal count here in just a minute, we're going to talk Gincarlo Stanton, slugger of the Miami Marlins, and he is out for the rest of the year, again seemingly with another injury. with a groin injury this time. And then, of course, we're going to end with what's trending, our lovely, wonderful, hugely famous topic. So, real quick, we're going to get into the Olympics. And the medal update currently is sitting at 77 for the United States, leading all nations by more than, currently 30 equal. Over China, who has 47, and Great Britain in third there with 41. So, United States, 77 total medals. Like I said, leading the way by 30 total medals. They are also leading the way in gold medals by 11 over Great Britain and 12 over China with 16 and 15. They have 27 in total. The United States also leads in silvers with 24. Behind them again is Great Britain and China at 17 and 14. And guess what? The United States also leads in bronze medals with 26, followed by China at 18 and Japan at 17. So they are really just running away with the medal lead counts in this Olympics.
United States did not even medal yesterday.
Yeah, and
so they didn't get a medal at all, and they still have a lead of at least 30.
Yeah, man.
Total. And in every category, gold, silver, and bronze, they are heavily, heavily dominating. So the United States as a whole, as a nation, clearly the winners of the Olympics. But
clearly,
let's look at particularly some of the big winners. Obviously, you have people like Michael Phelps. He's got 5 gold medals and a silver. Katie Ledecky, she's got 4 gold medals and a silver. Simone Biles, the gymnast, she's got 3 golds and a bronze. And then Simone Manuel made huge headlines last week, becoming the first ever African-American to win a medal in swimming. She's got 2 golds and 2 silvers. So there's obviously a lot of other people as well that are doing great. But who to you, of people like Phelps, Ledecky, Biles, Manuel, I guess maybe in a week or so you might be able to throw Usain Bolt in there. The track and field events are still going on. So I guess we'll throw Bolt in there as well. He did win the gold in the 100 meters for the 3rd Olympics in a row. He just won that the other day. So I guess you can throw Bolt in there. But of all those guys and gals, who do you think is going to come out sort of the most popularity, the most notoriety of the whole Olympics here?
Well, I mean, okay, so you asked me that question before, and I thought of it in a different way. But
Okay,
what I would say now, because I answered Phelps initially because it's Michael Phelps. You know, he once again just recaptured America's
in his last
attention.
Olympics, too.
Yeah, in his last Olympics and all these gold medals and forever the Olympic leader, at least currently. It's gonna be hard to even approach that.
He's got 23 gold medals.
Yeah,
the next highest. There's a few tied, Mark Spitz, some others with 9. So he's got 14 gold medals more than anyone ever.
He broke a 2,500-year-old record of Leonidas of Rhodes, so clearly long time ago, when it was still 3 numbers in the year, long time ago, he broke a record of medals. It's just he's doing amazing things. But the way I took your question was, now thinking about it, is who's going to be coming out of this as more so the new star in a sense? Who's going to come out with the popularity? And Phelps did that, and Usain did that, but they're like you said, Phelps is done after this at least. We thought he was done after the last one, and he came back for this one. I would say he's going to be close
this
to
is it.
40 or something.
He's 31 now.
Yeah, he's going to be 35 next Olympics. So
right. So I think he said that he's done here. I got to believe him this time.
Yeah, I mean, swimming, it does take a toll on your body. And then you have a guy like Usain Bolt who could be getting near the end of his run, as one would say. I think
no pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. Always pun intended. I think Ledecky really set herself up to be that newer American star, because nobody really knew about her before these Olympics. And the same thing with Simone Biles as well. Another person who I didn't know who she was. I knew who Ali Reisman was and Gabby Douglas. I didn't know who she was, and I forget the other young lady's name in the gymnastics team as well.
There's a lot of them. I mean, Lori Hernandez is pretty good as well.
Of that Fab Five or whatever they have going, the other 2 in that.
Yeah,
one.
Reagan Smith.
Yeah, I remember Reagan Smith. That's a good name to remember. She's a clever name. I like the name Reagan. That's not necessarily a first name, but I like it.
You mentioned Ledecky and Biles. I agree. Both of them only being 19. Ledecky really sort of had her little bit of a limelight in the Olympics last year, winning a gold medal at 15. And then Biles,
the last Olympics, yeah.
Right, and then Biles, the 3-time defending world gymnast champion, and then obviously winning the gold this year to sort of cap off the last 4 years. But they're both 19. They're still relatively young. You're going to see them in Tokyo in 2020. I think they're like that next generation of the Bolt and Phelps, which you saw start in Beijing 8 years ago. So they're really that next that next great wave. One name you can maybe throw in is Lily King.
Yeah.
She is also only 19 years old. She had that really outspoken, feud with Russian Yulia Efimova, who was suspended for drugs and then did win an appeal to win and play in the Olympics. So she's sort of next in that generation, I guess you could say. Yeah. But I think it's definitely, as you mentioned, Biles and Ledecky. For this Olympics, I think you're going to get sort of more popularity and more storylines of Phelps and Bolt.
Yeah.
Especially with Phelps because it's going to be his last one. But for the future and the more Olympics to come, it's going to be Biles and Ledecky.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And before moving on, did you see that Fiji won its first ever gold medal?
I saw that they won, yes.
And I
did not watch it, but I saw the story.
I didn't. Yeah, same. And they immediately declared that day a national holiday.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
For a country like Fiji, you don't look at Fiji as a sports nation. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Unfortunately for Fiji, look what their men's soccer team did in the Olympics this year. Got
outscored to 23 to
1
or 1.
They got outscored 23-1 in their 3 combined games. And they lost to Germany 10-0. So
that kind of upgraded the difference there.
But. Not too well for them. So you know who else had a good Olympics? Andy Murray.
Andy Murray just won
the gold medal.
Yeah.
The second time in a row he's won the gold medal.
It's my boy.
He won it in London 12 years ago. Great for Andy Murray. And he just came off of winning Wimbledon. So Andy Murray winning sort of the last 2 big tennis tournaments. That's great for Andy Murray. I do like Andy Murray. He supports Arsenal. He's a Gooner, so
I like him just because he happens to be my favorite my favorite tennis player.
And speaking of golf, we had the golf tournament conclude over the weekend. We have Justin Rose coming out with the gold medal. So first time golf has been in the Olympics since 1904, so 112 years. So that's definitely a great storyline for Rose.
Yeah, definitely impressive. Okay, well, hey, we're going to go ahead and move on.
Okay.
We're going to take our first break, and we're going to come back and talk baseball. Before we do that, I want to just update everybody out there. We do currently have extra time in the Brazil-Sweden game. Only a minute, though.
Yeah, that's just stop. That's just stoppage time.
I'm sorry, stoppage time.
And then
so more than likely they're going to 30-minute extra time. And then also we have a baseball game going, and that is the Chicago Cubs at home against the Milwaukee Brewers, and is currently 1-0 in favor of the Cubs heading into the top second. So baseball, soccer, Olympics. What a world and what a day we are living in right now. So we'll take our first break. Ben and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere here at the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
And we are back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast, and now moving into the world of baseball, and that is Miami Marlins star slugger and outfielder Gincarlo Stanton likely out for the rest of the season after a groin strain. It's going to force him to miss at least 6 weeks, but could obviously be much longer. It's a grade 3 strain of his groin. He's going to have to rehab it. Best case scenario, again, he could return in 6 weeks, but it's really up in the air there. He did it on the final play of Saturday's loss to the White Sox, attempting to stretch a single to a double. Yeah, that's
right at the end of the game there. Definitely unfortunate.
And he went down on the ground immediately. You could obviously see he was in pain. He was laying there just in the dirt. It was not a sight you want to see if you're a Marlins fan. Obviously, one of the best players in baseball, arguably the best pure hitter in baseball right now when it comes to power. He hits home runs like nobody's seen before, let alone the kind of shots that leave the yard in 3 seconds that he's been clocked at. So it was tough to see. It's a guy they signed a couple years ago, signed a 3-year, $315 million deal, the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. It's
all guaranteed.
It's all guaranteed. Well, a lot of it's guaranteed, but it's a tough thing to see. He's a player you want on the field. In the last couple seasons, he hasn't been on the field.
Yeah, this is going to be as it's projected, the third year in a row that he will miss the end of the season with an injury. So in 2014, he missed his final 17 games with broken facial bones.
Yeah, he took that ball to the face.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons he wears sort of that extended piece on his helmet, kind of like Jason
the
Hayward.
G on it.
And then last year, he had a broken left wrist, which forced him to miss the final 87 games of the year. And now this year, it looks like he'll miss the final 46 games with the groin injury.
Yeah.
So he's had trouble staying healthy. For Miami, this is definitely a huge loss. Stanton leads them in home runs at 25 and RBIs at 70. His average is not too great. He's hitting 244. It's not terrible. But this is a big part of their offense. Their leading run person driving runs in. And they're in the battle right now of a wild card spot. They're currently tied for one of the NL wild card spots with the St. Louis Cardinals. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have Stanton in there, really one of your best offensive performers, you got to look at a lot of other people to step up, like maybe Marcell Ozuna. He was an all-star this year. But they're going to need to find another way to drive in runs. They still do have Jose Fernandez behind the plate, but not behind the plate, but at pitching. But that's only one out of every 5 days, and he's sort of banged up right now as well. He was forced to miss his last start. So Jose Fernandez, someone has to step up, probably on the offensive side for the Marlins, if they're going to continue to compete for that other wild card spot. The Dodgers have a firm 4-game lead right now on the first one. I'd say really either the Dodgers or the Giants are for sure going to be in that first wild card spot.
Yeah,
but
I mean, the Giants
that,
are only half a game up currently, so I mean, if the Dodgers take them over, it's pretty much going to be the same lead for the Giants.
Yeah, and I mean, after that, you really have like a toss-up because you have, like I said, the Marlins and Cardinals tied. You have the Pirates 1 game back. The Mets are 3.5 back. Those 4 teams are really battling just for one spot, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. And then it's tough, like you said, especially when you're in the hunt like they are for the first time since they've really become the Miami Marlins. It's it's tough, especially when, I mean, it's going to be tough if they weren't even relevant.
Yeah, they're definitely a really surprising team this year. I don't think anyone really thought they would have the success they have, and I would hate for the Marlins to have sort of that emotional high of being successful when no one thought they would, to come down and affect them so negatively with this Stanton injury and really affect the way they play and have them sort of drop out of it. It would really be unfortunate that they would drop out of things because of an injury and not necessarily that they just started playing bad. So it's not good. It's not good news for the Marlins. Here's my question to you. Gincarlo Stanton's gone now. Does that open the door for A-Rod?
I hope it doesn't, and we talked about it in our last show. I don't think he should go to an NL team, but I mean, hey, anything is possible.
I think it definitely opens the door. There was already thoughts about A-Rod coming into Miami Marlins anyway. He is a Miami kid. The only problem is where do you play A-Rod? He's only played 2 games in the last 3 years in the field. In the National League, they don't have the DH like they did in New York with the New York Yankees or they do in the American League. So you have that issue there. So exactly where do you put them then? You got to put A-Rod in the field. So first base I guess that's the easiest position to field. But, I mean, I don't know. Do you think they would really bring in A-Rod, though?
I don't want them to. I don't think they should. I mean, they're selling tickets this year. It's not like they're struggling to sell tickets, So, honestly, I don't think they should. I don't want them to. But, hey, I guess I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I guess that's a good way to put it. I would not be surprised. I think a lot of people are saying there's a good possibility, so they're kind of imagining.
I mean, he's from Miami.
Right, and they're sort of imagining it's going to happen
the
then.
Miami area.
But who knows if that's going to be the case. I really don't think that's going to be the case. So I think we'll have to just sort of wait and see. But I'm going to say no, and I'll be surprised if it is. But at the same time, I won't be surprised. You know what I mean? I could honestly see it happening.
All right. I mean, I agree with you on that. I mean, of course, we're going to keep you updated on it, and if it happens, we'll let you know. But,
we'll have to wait and see.
Something to see. So we're going to take our last break, but we're going to update you real quick. The Sweden-Brazil game did indeed go to extra time. It's currently in the 95th minute, still tied at 0-0.
And Brazil are really dominating that game. They only have about 5 shots on goal, but they've taken 23 shots in total to only 3 of the Swedes.
Yeah, they're really handling the possession in this game. So we'll, of course, keep you updated. If something happens in between our break now and coming back, we'll, of course, let you know. And if something happens before the end of the episode, we'll let you know. But we're going to take our last break now. and we will get to that in a minute. So, as always, don't go anywhere. Ben and I will be right back at the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
And welcome back to the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Alex and I are going to finish out our show today with our ever so popular What's Trending. We have a lot of great stories here. Do you want to start or should I?
I'll start with one.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Are you ready?
I
you're
was
ready.
born for this. I was born ready.
You're born this way?
I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way. Lady Gaga, you know.
Yeah, I can take it. Okay, so the Tennessee Titans, we talked about how well, in our last episode, how well they did really with the depth of their team and how they looked, especially rushing the ball.
Yes.
Well, the first 2 plays of the Tennessee Titans preseason game were auctioned off to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, okay? So that means fans got to choose the first 2 plays. As a matter of fact, the fans that purchased the
Interesting,
rights.
okay.
In the drive, they called the first play was a pitch run to DeMarco Murray's first run with the team. 17 yards for a first down. Very successful. The next play was a play action pass for 42 yards completion by Marcus Mariota. So the 2 first plays netted 2 first downs and roughly 60 yards, okay? The next 5 play calls of the actual team netted a total of 3 yards and no first downs.
I'm surprised these people didn't pick some sort of trick plays.
Well, they might have gave him some.
Oh, they maybe would have. Okay, here's 5 plays. Pick one of them. You know what I mean? Like I would have thought you would have seen Statue of Liberty, flea flicker, halfback pass on one of those plays. You know what I mean?
They probably gave him like
I would have done something wild,
scripted plays to look for. Oh, right.
Right.
I would have done the double reverse wide receiver pass from the Super Bowl in 2005, Antoine Randall to Heinz Ward.
Yeah, something creative.
Something
you're probably
wacky.
right. They probably gave him like a choice of 5 plays. But interesting that they picked those 2 plays and they had great success, and the rest of the time they just didn't do too well.
Yeah, the actual coaching staff didn't get it done.
That's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny indeed. All right, well, hey, it's your turn. Go ahead.
Okay, so you know how on last week's episode I talked about Adele being rumored to be the Super Bowl halftime.
I recall. I think I heard something along those lines.
Well, Adele reportedly, according to Adele, decided to turn it down.
Wow.
She said, I know I'm not Beyonce. I can't dance like that.
That's true.
She reportedly turned it down, but now the NFL is coming out and saying that they're denying they offered Adele the Super Bowl halftime show. So who do you really believe here? Personally, I'm believing Adele. I think the NFL is trying to cover up their tracks.
Because she's like,
that this came out and she turned it down. Because Adele would make sense. She's definitely one of the hottest pop stars right now. Mm-hmm. So it makes a lot of sense. The NFL is denying it. I don't believe the NFL. I'm with Adele here. Why would she randomly come out and say they offered it to her and she turned it down?
I don't know.
So I'm with Adele here, but the NFL is trying to, I think, cover up their tracks. So we're not going to have Adele as the halftime performer. Who would you like?
I haven't really been excited for a halftime show since the Who in 2009 with the Saints and the Colts. I don't know. I would love to have a band I really like, like Blink-182 out there or something along those lines. A band I would really love to see. But at the end of the day, I'm clearly there for the game, so it's not as big of a deal. The last couple have been entertaining. You know what I mean? I like Bruno Mars. He's fun to watch. He puts on a good show, but I would hate to have him back for a 3rd time.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case.
I know my girlfriend, if she had a choice, it would be Taylor Swift.
I was just about to say, I'm calling it right now. Taylor Swift.
What about a band like Maroon 5?
Maybe, but maybe she brings them on. I don't know. But I'm calling Taylor Swift right now, and here's why. Everyone watches the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Obviously the sports fan watch it for the game. The people who aren't watch it for the halftime show and the commercials. Mm-hmm. There's no more popular person than Taylor Swift. And she hasn't
That's
done
true.
it. And she hasn't done it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Taylor Swift.
Okay, I can dig that. Who would you want to do it?
Who would
would
I
you
want?
A Tribe Called Quest?
I don't know. I really like Justin Timberlake, but he did have his chance, and obviously it didn't go too well, so I don't think that will ever happen again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess someone I don't know.
DMX.
DMX.
Oh, man. George Michael. No. Seal.
Seal. I want Seal.
I need a Kiss from a Rose to play right before the Super
Seal.
Bowl starts. Man, would I go crazy.
That would be a dream come true.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I have my last bit of trending news.
Let's go.
You ready for this?
Uh-huh.
New at Ford Field. The Lions.
Lions.
I read the big giant. The Lions are selling Big Blue Donut, which is the size of 4 normal donuts. And would you guess it's not exactly cheap because it's stadium food. It's $15.
So is it just a generalized donut that happens to be blue, or
No,
what's the flavor here?
It looks like a regular donut. It's got blue frosting on it and sprinkles, but it looks like they stacked.
It's just
in
gigantic.
terms of height. They stacked 4 donuts. Yeah, it's big. It looks like a cake almost, like a bundt cake.
I am a big donut fan, so that's pretty interesting. You obviously have a lot of interesting stadium food all over the world. So interesting. $15.
It looks like there's something in the middle of it too.
Like what?
Like a filling, like a flavoring. Like somebody cut a slice out of it, and it looks like within the middle, like a flat around it. Not like filling, but like a flat layer, like as if they had 2. Like when you have cake layering, like frosting between cake.
I'm gonna look this up.
If you go on ESPN, it's the very first thing on there. It's like when you have cake layering. It's frosting it looks like it's a flavoring through the middle of it like that.
Okay, I see it. I see it.
Yeah. So
it's kind of hard to tell how big it is, though.
it looks tall, right?
It does look. Yeah, I guess so. I think it would be easier to see like in someone's hand.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty big.
The
though,
size of 4 normal donuts. So if you think about that, so
and it's pretty like thick around.
You're getting
too.
about 4 donuts really for $15. It's
really
not
just like
bad for a stadium,
it's like
right?
a cake, dude. I'm not paying $15 for that thing.
What if it's good?
I honestly am afraid it's not.
I mean, I could go for a donut right about now. So
I could always go
pretty,
for a donut
It looks
right
pretty
about
good to me, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So maybe we'll have someone get a review of it somehow on the internet. Who knows? Anyways, moving on. So we had Chinese diver He Zi got all kind of jewelry on Sunday, Alex. Do you want to know why?
Yes, why?
So after earning a silver medal in the women's 3-meter springboard, the diving, he was surprised by her boyfriend, who's also a fellow diver, Qin Kai, who also won bronze in the men's synchronized diving. So we have 2 divers from China that happen to be dating.
Yes.
Okay? So Qin got down on one knee in front of the cheering crowd and proposed to her.
Wow.
So
First Olympic proposal.
Not only did she win a silver medal, but she got a nice ring on her finger as well. So she is recently engaged right after she got her medal.
That's a pretty good day.
Isn't that great?
That's a pretty good day.
Yeah, that's great. That's great for them. I'm happy for them.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. It reminds me a lot of the Fiesta Bowl, or the Tortillas Bowl, whichever one that was. Boise State. The guy wins the game on the Statue of Liberty play and then immediately proposes to his cheerleader girlfriend.
Ian Johnson, right? I think his name was
like
Ian
that.
Johnson.
Something along
Yeah, I
those
remember
lines.
that. I remember watching
that game. Man, love is in the air. And so is medals, and Olympic medals obviously belong to the United States right now. All right. Hey, well, we're done. We'll update you one last time. The Sweden-Brazil game is currently in the 101st minute. Still nil. Both sides.
I think we're leading towards penalties. I honestly do.
And, of course, we're going to talk about it on our soccer show because it's going to be relevant. So, boom, boom, boom. All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. Ben, we want to tell the people where they can find us?
You can find us on a ton of places. Primarily is our podcast network's website. That is gsmcpodcast.com. Make sure you click on the portfolio of podcasts, and also, obviously, you can click on the sports one. If you're not into that, there's a lot of great ones, also non-sports related. There's also a coming soon portfolio tab where you can find a lot of the great podcasts that will be starting up hopefully at the end of this year or early next year. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Google Play, YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, Twitter and Instagram. Our Twitter and Instagram handles are GSMC_sports. And you can find us as well on the phone, on the mobile, on Stitcher.
There it is. I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
Yep, that's why I said it. Oh, man. All right, well, I think it's time to go, Ben. Do you think it's time to go?
I think so.
I think we've overstayed our welcome.
I don't think we've ever overstayed our welcome, but
I don't know. We had a pretty long episode one time. That might have done it, but this is a good episode.
maybe just a little bit.
All right. Well, we will see you guys on our next episodes later this week, but as always, I am Alex.
And I'm Ben.
And we will catch you cats on the flippity-flop.
The flippity-flop.
Yeah, I always say, it's like School of Rock. It says, catch you cats on the flip-flop later. You know, I love it.
That's good. I'm glad you love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye, guys.